How's it going, everybody? This is Jeremiah. One thing that I really like to do in my spare time is watch chess lectures and analysis on YouTube. So I thought today I would attempt to do the same thing on my own by showing you one of my games. This is a game that I played on lichess.org recently. And I won't say it's the best game in the world, but it's pretty instructive, I think. And it shows how to deploy your pieces in different ways. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I was the black pieces. My opponent opens with e4, very common. I like to play the French defense as black. It's pretty much the opening that I've played for my entire chess career. I like it because a lot of players know like your basic, e4, e5. Everybody knows, everybody and their mother has played this at some point if you play chess. Black can also play c5 here, which is the Sicilian defense. It's very aggressive, very sharp and tactical opening. The problem with this that I find is that if you don't know the theory and all the different variations, it can go wrong for you very quickly as black if you make the wrong move. So I play e6, the French defense. For me, it's just easier to find plans for the game in this. Like whether you get winning chances, you get drawing chances. White generally isn't going to be as booked up in the French defense as they are in other lines. So that's why I like playing this. White comes back with d4, very common. d5. White plays the advanced variation by advancing his pawn up here to e5. I face this all the time. I think most French players, people who like playing the French defense, will look forward to enjoying, this advanced structure. It's really not that big a deal, but it's not that bad for white at all. Not that bad. c5, very common, very thematic in the French defense. You're putting pressure here on the d4 square and the d4 pawn, which in this variation is your target. Black will always target this pawn right here in any advanced variation. Knight f3, which I think is fine. Most common move I see here is c3, just backing up the d4 point this way. But knight f3 I think is fine too. Knight c6. He takes. I don't know, this isn't the right move. This is sort of like what black wants you to do, because you're basically exchanging a center pawn for a side pawn, and you let black recapture like this with his bishop in one go. There's some times where I think that white can do this if the bishop has already moved once. Like let's say, something like this. Let's say, I don't know, just a silly move he plays here like this. Then you take, and now black has to take two moves with the bishop. I don't know, maybe that's not the best example. But taking right now, I mean, you're just letting my piece come out in one go. I've got two pieces developed now to your one. This point here is a little weak. Yeah. I think any French player would love to have this right now, this early in the game. Knight c3, which I don't agree with because it blocks his c-pawn. What are you doing? What are you doing, white? You're blocking your pieces. This knight, I guess, maybe wants to try to get into here, but I don't know. I don't understand it. So I drop back. Maybe the knight wants to go here and make my bishop move again a couple times, and I don't want the bishop to if he plays here, I don't want the bishop to have to come back here and then get taken that way. I also don't really want the bishop here either because it takes away a square from my knight. It's just not really like what I want to do with this bishop. I want this bishop attacking. I want him coming in like this at some point. So I just drop back like here. Maybe I can go here and get at this point a little bit easier, because this pawn is kind of weak. He comes and attacks my queen, which I kind of agree with. Maybe. I don't know. Whenever I see a bishop coming out to here like this in a French defense, it tells me that eventually he wants to castle queenside this way. And then just start going rawr. Maybe move his knight somewhere and then rawr. His pawns are all coming up in my grill. Yeah. He's gonna want to checkmate me. It's not really that big a deal. I develop another piece. He tries to pin, which I guess he's developing. Kind of keeping himself flexible with his king. I think if his plan was to castle this way, he would have moved his queen somewhere at this point. So maybe he's not sure where he wants to go. Bishop d7. Now there actually is a very, very, very sneaky threat here. No, it's not sneaky, but it's a trick that I see a lot in these advanced variations. Well, actually, no, I can't, because you can't do that. But let's say his knight wasn't here. Well, forget that. If his knight wasn't here, like let's go back and say he does something like this, right? Say he comes here like this, right? Now I go here. Looks very similar to what happened before. If he goes like this, I can actually just take this. Free pawn. Because if he captures here, I capture here, and I'm up a clean pawn. I've got two bishops leaning down on him, which he's not going to be happy about. And then if he takes like this, I still get the pawn. My knight maybe is a little displaced here, but he's lost his light square bishop, which is black's best piece in any French defense. Or I'm sorry, which is white's best piece in any French defense. So it's a sneaky little tactical trick that can happen in those types of situations. But now we go back here, 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 here. Okay. Bishop a4. I mean, what? Why are you doing that? You play your bishop out to here. Your goal is to either just maintain the pin or to take, right? I don't know. Whatever. I go ahead and stop any knight b5 business. I just don't want him coming in. Simple as that. I think the computer's probably going to tell me something like here that I should just castle. Probably that's the best move, because he hasn't castled yet. I don't think this is a problem. Knight g1. Undeveloping. I don't get this move at all. I don't know what his plan is. Like, where's your knight going after this, buddy? I mean, you going here? Maybe you want to go here? I don't know. All I know is that when you see a move like this, when you see this knight coming back to its home square like that, it makes me think, all right, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you for that. There has to be something. I mean, maybe it's just not automatically clear what it has to be, but this move is just objectively and strategically bad. Like, why? You're blocking your rook. Your knight really can't go anywhere else. You're losing tempos. I don't know. Maybe he knows something I don't. Maybe he's a secret genius. But more importantly, he also drops this pawn. So I'm a pawn up. My knight's good. If he takes my bishop, I have no problem with that, because that's his good bishop. I don't mind if he takes it. He doesn't. He elects to play f4 and come after my knight. So, I just come in, put my knight on a good square, a little bit closer. Like, maybe I want to come in here in the future. His bishop over here now only has one way to escape. He wants to come around this like this maybe, but even then, like, I find myself wondering at this point, what are you doing, bruh? What you doing, bruh? I don't know. He comes in and attacks, and I go right in for the guts. Again, I can't point this out enough. For the white pieces, the light square bishop is their best piece. That's the one they want to keep. You don't want to trade this bishop away. You want to do everything you can to keep this bishop attacking. Either pinning here, or maybe you somehow get the bishop back to here, and you attack down this way with sacrifice ideas in the future. But yeah, by coming and attacking my knight again, he lets my knight come in just right in the guts, forking the queen. Forking the queen and the bishop. So, I mean, I'm going to get his best piece. He's going to have double pawns, double rook pawns on the A file. I'm up a pawn. I would technically say maybe a pawn and a half, pawn and 3/4. Because now, like I said, he's losing his best piece. He's going to have double rook pawns. This just can't be good. Queen comes in with an attack, some sort of attack that I don't see. I mean, maybe he's thinking about targeting this point. Maybe. but that just looks risky. The cool thing about playing the French defense for black is you generally end up with these 3 pawns like this, and it makes for a nice shield. You know, you don't always have to castle in the French defense for black. You know, you just play these pawns here, you put your king here, and then your rooks get to slide all along these files, going wherever they want. You know, this file's open for me in the future. I know queen g4 is a common move in other French defense variations, but here I'm just not seeing what it's doing. You know, maybe he wants to take here. I mean, maybe if I don't parry the threat he takes here, I guess maybe I go like this, take back with the queen. I could take with the king, then he takes here. I'd probably take back with the king if he did decide to do this. Like if he did decide to take here, I'd take back with the king. He'd take here. Then I'd play here with, I mean, it's just not good. I'll get my pawn back on g2. I'll have a rook on the 7th rank, which is always a good thing. I don't know. So I take the bishop, as planned. He takes back with the pawn. Wonder if he could just take with the knight, too. I mean, maybe. Even though this is black's worst piece, I don't know if I necessarily want to trade off the 2 bishops. You know, 2 bishops is an advantage. This bishop's stabbing this one right here, this guy, he's stabbing right into the heart. Can't really do anything with him yet. I don't know. He plays there. But he took with the pawn, and that's fine. Rook c8, exactly where I want the rook to be, activating him, getting onto a half-open file, throwing a punch at the knight. Yeah, throwing a punch at this knight right here. Rook c8's a useful move, and I take it. Yeah, now knight c to e2. What? Like, your pawn's hanging, bro. I think maybe he should have played like this. I mean, he's still down a pawn, but it's not really clear. He can't castle queenside. Because, I mean, look at this. Look at these pawns. It's terrible. Broken structure. He can't castle kingside because, my bishop is just staring right into his heart. So, I don't know. Maybe knight ge2 was better. Because at least it didn't drop a pawn. Maybe he can get his bishop around here like this somehow. That's not what he did. He played knight c to e2, which is just a blunder. Now I take, yeah. He's thinking, or he's hoping that I'll take here or something like that. You know, but I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose this piece on his 2nd rank. Like, that's a great, absolutely great rook. You don't want to get rid of that rook. You want to keep that rook there as long as possible. Make him take it. All right? So I do that. Put my bishop here. Getting out of the pin. Again, if he wants to take like this, I don't think I really mind. Because I take, he takes, I go here. Yeah, because if he takes, I take, then he'll take here. Still kind of unclear. I think. I don't know. What do I know? Knight comes back out again. It's like, why'd you play that knight back to g1 if you're just going to play it back to f3? Like, at this point, I knew I'm winning. Like, I have to be winning. I'm up a pawn. His pieces are moving around in circles. He's got double rook pawns over here. Yeah, I'm just crushing him. So I takes with the knight. Like, what? What are you thinking? Check. He comes up. Now, there's a few ways here that I can play. I mean, clearly, it's just game over. But I was thinking to myself, you know, what's the best way to get him? You know, instinctually, you just want to come over here and take the rook. But what happens after that? You know, my queen will be stuck over here in no man's land. And he's got these 3 pieces sort of looming around. You know, I'm up a piece. But if I did take that rook, my queen would be here, my rook would be here, not really doing anything. And then he's got these 3 pieces I don't know, looming around. Like maybe he can bring his knight in here somehow. Try this idea again. I don't know. So the great chess master and world champion Emanuel Lasker taught us, when you see a good move, look for a better move. So I looked for a better move, and I came up with this. Check. You know, your king doesn't have many squares. You know, king can't go here, king can't go here, king can't go here, king can't go here, king can't go here. Only legal move right there. And yeah, mate. So it was a fun game. I think my opponent made several tactical errors, objectively tactical errors. Like, this is all fine. Yeah, taking here is first mistake. You shouldn't take that pawn. You know, it's just a bad idea for white to take that like that. Yeah, I don't understand this move. Bishop a4. He's just making moves. Like, what are you doing? Where's your bishop going? You want to put him here? I suppose. Yeah, now you're just losing, buddy. You cannot play like this in chess. If your pieces are out, you keep your pieces out. Like, where is he going? Why not just castle? Move your queen somewhere. You know? Oh well. All right, 3 pawn. Yeah, and then after this, I just mop up. Yeah. Take his best piece, double his pawns. I still think he should take like this, maybe. Throwing a punch on this guy. Because then if I take, he takes. You know, I'm down. I don't have the bishop pair anymore. But, you know, I'm still up a pawn. He's still got this, but at least things look a little bit better for him. You know, the structure is terrible, but at least it's not as bad as what he did. Taking with the pawn? Yeah, I don't get that. Come and attack the knight. Yeah, now he's just dropping pieces. Good idea. Never take. Make your opponent take you most of the time. Because if I take this, then, you know, he's catching up a little bit. Just a tiny, tiny bit. So make him take, which he doesn't want to do. Yeah, here comes your knight back out again. Wasted move earlier. Takes. Check. Yeah, this is just game over. Check. Mate. Anyway, that was my first chess commentary and analysis video. I'm hoping to maybe do like 1 or 2 of these a week in the future, and I'll get better at it as I go along. So I hope everybody's having a great day, and I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.